That's a lot of remembering. There've been a lot. There've been a lot, no. So I'm Joyce Henderson. I operate Let's Stay Together Pets. Our main focus is, sorry, I get emotional, so just a second.
It's nothing to do.
Our main focus is to keep pets in the homes that they know with the people they love. Not going to a shelter, so if that means they need food, we're gonna try and give them food. And ultimately down the road, we wanna be able to help with vet bills and things like that. And of course, education, because sometimes when we don't know something, our animals suffer and then you don't have your pet anymore. So that's basically what we do and what we're shooting for. We have done some treatments for some people's pets, and it's magic.
It is, it really is.
I've done a few of my animals too, and it just surprises me.
And Joyce has been able to offer fostering if somebody's in the hospital or they have a job change and they need to look for a new place to live, so.
We
Or
have
even if
done
their
that.
housing changes, right? Like even if
Yeah,
their
I
housing
know.
changes and then they're moving to a place that doesn't accept
Yeah.
dogs or,
Yeah, that's something that we want to be able to do on a regular basis too. We don't have
Stand around.
the facility for it yet, but most recently we did foster a community cat, because we've been working with a cat colony in
Oh.
Sullivan. And the person who was primarily caring for her, she was moving. And where she was going said, absolutely not, you cannot have the cat. So we were able to make a deal with the Humane Society in Franklin County. And they said, if you foster her, we can get her into the system right away. And they did, so I fostered her for, I think it was just a week. And then they got her into their place, then they got her into PetSmart, and the next week I went to go check on her, and she was being adopted.
Oh.
Just then. So, I mean, we're really happy about that. Turns out, she had been adopted by the Franklin County Humane Society 4 years before, and they found out that her human had died. So she'd been out on the street for possibly 2 years. Don't know, but now she has a home. So we want to be able to do things like that too. And I guess I'll go into the applied zoopharmacognosy.
Where are you located?
I'm in Bourbon.
Oh, okay.
We do a lot of work in the Sullivan community though. We've been working with PetSense for PetSense, and their customers have been a big provider of food for the pantry, for helping people.
Good to know, because I don't donate to things like that because I don't really know where it's going.
Where to
You
go,
know, and I'm thinking
yeah.
this big business that makes billions of dollars can't
Yes.
donate food, and so that's
Yeah.
good to know.
Well, that's how they do it, yeah. It's like items that are about to expire, they'll put into little donation bags, and then you buy a little donation
Yeah,
bag.
okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also, CDR Naturals in Bourbon, they're a drop-off location for food donations and supplies. And, my goodness, Medlin Pet Company that does boarding and daycare in Sullivan, they're a drop-off location now. And Harmony Health and Wellness in St. Clair, they're a drop-off location. Get a massage and donate some food. Yeah. Also, the library in Sullivan for September, they're a drop-off location for food. So we're just branching out. The applied zoopharmacognosy I learned about a few years ago. I just on a whim joined this summit online and was introduced to the woman who founded it. And I was like, oh my God. I have to have her book, and I actually won one of her books. She has 2 books, and I won the one of them, but then I was like, I'm still buying the other one, doesn't matter. So, and I have to refer to my notes a little bit. And I'm not entirely sure I'm saying it correctly, but zoopharmacognosy comes from zoo, which is animal, pharmaco, which is remedy, and gnosy, which is knowing. So it's animals knowing what remedy their bodies need.
Excuse me, Joyce?
Yeah.
Would it be appropriate to hand out the handouts now?
Sure, yeah,
Okay,
that's fine.
then I thought people could.
Do you want to
follow.
take care of that? Okay. So what Nancy's handing out is, charts of common, essential oils, and it'll indicate if it's an herb. So this is what I use as a guide when I'm doing treatments. And having been in the herb guild, you probably recognize a lot of them and their uses. So zoopharmacognosy was coined by Dr. Elroy Rodriguez. He was just observing animals in the wild, I think, and possibly some in the lab. And then Caroline Ingraham in the 1990s, she founded Applied Zoopharmacognosy, which gives domestic and contained animals the opportunity to self-medicate because they don't have natural access to the plants that they would in the wild. So we have a way of offering it to them. And then you just watch their behavior to see, you know, if it's something that they might need or not and how much and all that. Because they will just determine their own dose, their own route of taking it into their body, all of that, which I think is amazing. I mean, for one thing, it feels like it's less work for me, and it's just interesting to really hone in and pay attention to what's going on with the animal to see if they need something. So it feels kind of like a bonding, you know, bonding opportunity.
Hey, hold it down. I got some handouts.
Hey, no problem. So yeah, that's where applied zoopharmacognosy came into play. And plant remedies have been used by humans for just thousands of years. It makes sense that animals would do the same. Other animals would do the same. Caroline's theory, there are a few theories about how this works and why. Caroline's theory, which is what I go by, is called sensory modulation. And the idea is that the way they perceive a plant is determined by whether or not their body needs it and how much. So if, let's say if they need comfrey, their body needs comfrey for whatever reason, they will be interested in the comfrey, and the idea is it's probably sweet if it's something that they want to taste, or it just smells really good to them if it's something that they just want to smell. If it doesn't, if their body doesn't need it, then it'll be bitter or just smell nasty, so they just will avoid it. And that's one way that you avoid toxins too, is because typically they're bitter. But some plants can be toxin or remedy, depending on what your body needs. So that's sensory modulation, her theory about that. Some plants are food. We eat them when we're hungry, and we can store them for energy later. Some plants are medicine. Sorry, I'm getting nervous. Some plants are medicine. Animals will choose them only for an immediate need, and it doesn't get stored. Some plants can be food or medicine. Like a horse eats grass for food, and a cat may eat grass to purge. Apparently bananas, like we eat bananas for food, and dogs often choose bananas for muscular pain. And that could be the potassium, magnesium, whatever, but the point is their body knows that they need it. And they will choose, you know, whatever amount that they need to relieve their pain. Different routes of administration. An animal might eat the plant. The animal might smell the plant. And it's part of smelling, but I separated it. The vomeronasal organ, which dogs have and cats have, and well, actually, I think most animals, most mammals. We seem to have it when we're babies, and there's an idea that maybe we lose it as we start communicating verbally. But ingestion is, that might be chosen if a particular substance needs to be broken down in order to be used, like rose hips, maybe. A lot of horses tend to eat rose hips if they have access to them. They eat rose hips, I think it's in the fall, because of some things that are going on in the environment in the fall. It helps boost their immunity. And if there is a problem in the stomach, intestines, or liver, then it makes more sense for it to be eaten. And it goes directly there. Also, if the remedy needs to be, or if the plant needs to be converted by the liver to something that the body needs, then it will be ingested. An example of that would be like lemons or lemon oil. If it's, trying to get this right, I'm still learning. If it is smelled, it's taken into the bloodstream right away. And it can go to all the organs that it needs to, so that is often the route chosen for like stones, kidney stones, bladder stones. Will be smelling, it'll get directly there. However, if lemon oil is ingested, it goes to the liver, and the liver converts limonene, which is what does the magic, converts that into pyrrolic acid. And pyrrolic acid is something that helps with depression. So some animals will actually choose to ingest it, and it helps lift their mood. And then the vomeronasal organ, there's a picture of it in the book, so you're welcome to look through the books. But it's kind of like going sideways. It's like we've got our pharynx here, which smells into our lungs. And then there's the olfactory bulb, which is up here, and that goes more toward the brain. And then there's the vomeronasal organ, which just sits kind of like right here. If you've ever seen an animal go when they smell something, and like horses will they'll look like it smells terrible, like And some of my cats sometimes, they'll usually just like that, but one or two of them will go, really, really quiet, but it's like that. So, yeah, and so that's when they're taking it into their vomeronasal organ. And then also I wrote this down, but I might be mistaken. Yeah, so the vomeronasal organ takes it into the brain. That's right, I got those switched. So if there are neurological issues, that's something that it'll get there faster and be able to work on their body. And that's all my goal. No, here's some important notes. These can also be taken topically. Typically we don't do that with animals unless they ask for it. Or like it's not really topical, but a cat may roll on something to crush the plant and release its oils. So it's not really going through their skin, but it's a way that they interact with it. But topically is often for muscles and joints and the skin, of course directly to the skin. Sometimes some oils are really strong So you would offer them in a dilution of like aloe vera gel. Caroline talks about this case in which I don't remember what the dog was dealing with, but it was really interested in a particular compound, and she offered on her hand, and the dog actually lifted its leg for her to apply it to the femoral artery. And so that gets really quickly into the bloodstream too, apparently, but just a different route. So, never apply oil to cats. She didn't say why, but you know, cats tend to be pretty sensitive, and never on the pads either. No cats or dogs. That's all I've got for now. And I am going to do a demonstration with Aida just to see if she needs anything today.
And if I can, Joyce was out, this poor baby, she actually is loved and cared for. Although you would never know her, but she's 11 years old. Pyrenees lifespans tend to be between 10 and 12, so she is an older girl dog. What we noticed was this fur loss pattern started after they turned on the cell tower down the road. So, I mean, there's a lot of differential diagnoses. I don't know if it's radiation. We also have her on a zeolite powder. Zeolite is what I know for humans and animals. It's a binder for a lot of the radiation. So she gets that every day. I had Joyce come out and look at her. One thing we discovered when Joyce was sharing, you know, different elements, botanicals, she loved comfrey oil. I think she cleaned you out. She just kept.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, she kept putting it down like 5 times or so, and she just kept lapping it up. So it was something she needed. She took in some hibiscus, but
Rose hips.
Rose hips. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was rose hips. And you know, got tired of that pretty quickly. Maybe a couple of tries.
Yeah, she started to alternate a little bit,
Yeah.
but she really wanted the
She
comfort.
really wanted comfort.
Oh, and the spirulina too.
Spirulina. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So I can get some and try that.
You could, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I had comfrey, and comfrey really resonated with me, so we made our own comfrey oil, and she gets that daily, and she always,
Ended up getting a cut on her foot too,
yeah,
and we put her back on the comfrey oil, and by the time we got her into C County at her vet, she was already healed.
Wow.
It was like,
So you would stop the comfrey for a while?
yeah,
and then
we weren't
we
giving it to her every day at that time.
Oh, okay.
Now since she had a sore on her foot.
Yeah.
so that helped heal up. I know comfrey is a really healer, with people at least, there's cautionary tale about ingesting it, but I just do comfrey tea. The research I've done is that there's not really anything to be concerned about the so-called hydrolyzidine alkaloids, the harmful stuff from comfrey, as long as you use the hybridized form, which is the comfrey with casinones. There is some cautionary tale with using the wild comfrey. Difference is wild comfrey generally has yellow flowers, and the hybridized form has a purple flower. So, unfortunately, it got a bad rap, but she's actually kind of enjoyed her comfrey. I forgot about this spirulina. I just, you know, like, really? She likes comfrey? I was just amazed that she kept
Yeah.
going for the comfrey, and so that's kind of.
Well, you're really familiar with comfrey.
Yeah.
So that makes
And we
sense.
grow it, so we
Yeah.
bring the supply, we make our own oil.
Yeah.
But that was the thing, and she actually, although she has bald, really significant bald patches, she is actually showing a regrowth of fur from the earliest places she started to lose fur. So some of these things I think may have even started, I've had her to a couple of vets now and not been real pleased with the solutions they've offered. One of them talks about Cushing's disease, which the common pattern is hair loss, excessive thirst, and incontinence. And through some supplementation, we've actually noticed a decline in her thirst. It's a holistic remedy for Cushing's. And the like I said, the hair loss patch is growing back. She had virtually nothing on the back of her area of her shoulders where you'll see little wispy hairs a couple months ago. So I'm just gonna keep trying what I know because you know, I'm willing to spend the funds, but there just doesn't seem to be a lot of knowledge. So I thought it was worthwhile to have Joyce revisit. And whenever you wanna work with her, so that's why
I'll
she's.
just give another, a personal case study. The cat that I most recently adopted, she was looking painful one night. She just did not want to move. She was spending a lot of time in the litter box. I noticed that she had blood in her urine. And just based on my own experience with kidney stones and having learned some about this, I'm like, okay, let's see if we can do something. So I pulled out those charts and I looked up kidney urinary problems, and I just offered her everything that I had in that set, and she really liked the lime essential oil. So I just sat with her for as long as she wanted to smell it, and you'll see when I'm working with Aida. And I think it was the next day, she was fine. No more blood, no more pain.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. And, so I figured, oh, okay, she's great. Well, about a couple weeks later, she was having trouble again. I'm like, okay, well, I'll offer her some lime oil again. And again, cleared up. So now I've just made it part of my weekly routine. I'll just sit with her for a little bit, offer her some lime oil. I'm actually out, but I got some lemon, which is a close second. And, just if she needs a little topping up, she'll just take whatever she needs. Hey, Felicia.
When you say offer, I know I missed the beginning, so
No, that's okay.
What do you mean by offer? Like, how do you give it to her?
Well, with these essential oils, I'm very visual. I could tell you, but so you just take the cap off, and you're ready, huh? And
Wow.
you put your finger over the top of it so they can't touch it, because if they touch it directly, it can be either too strong and, they just get way too much, kind of like an overdose. But also it can just really startle them, and it'll put them off, and they won't want to do a treatment at all. So try to put it like about 4 inches underneath, because it tends to rise up out of the bottle. And yeah, you just put it in them. That's offering it to them. And if they will, almost any response other than turning away, walking away, anything like that, is them working with it. And so you gotta pay attention, because sometimes they'll turn a little bit, but they're just regulating their dose. And then they may come back to it, and like that. And so if you think they're done and you go to take it away and they follow it, they still need some more. So they're just regulating their dose. But yeah, that's offering it to them.
Okay, thank you.
And if you're using like dried plants, you could just take a towel, and this was actually my introduction to it, and I just didn't know it. I purchased an herb garden, a cat's herb garden through Jackson Galaxy. It was like 6 little bags of herbs. There were rosehip shells. Actually, they were rosebuds, lavender, valerian root, chamomile, and I think calendula, and I think there was one other thing. And you just put little piles on a towel, about this far apart, so they don't get muddled in the nose, and let the cat or the dog choose what they want, if any of it. Actually, my cat Opie, he's gone, so I'm emotional, but I couldn't even finish getting everything out of the box. He grabbed those rosebuds, and he was laying on the floor like catnip. I mean, he tore the bag and everything, and then wanted nothing to do with them after that. So I was like, okay. And there were, I don't remember who, but valerian root was really popular among my cats too. Valerian, it has a really calming effect, which made a lot of sense to me because there's a lot of tension between my cats. But yeah, so that's another way to offer, is just to lay it out on the floor on the towel and see if they're interested in any of it.
Do you let them ingest it or just?
If they want to, yeah.
Okay.
Do you, like when I'm looking at this, would you do that one at a time? Or would you make a mix?
No, it's, some people make a mix. But yeah, I offer one at a time because sometimes they can get too much of something
Maybe that they
by
don't
needing
need.
something. Yeah. So, yeah.
Another question.
Yeah.
So I diffuse essential oils in my home, and I'm very careful about the lavender because I know that's a big no for cats. So I have 2 dogs and 4 cats. But I keep it up. They don't seem to mess with it. Do you have an idea of how I can best do that, suit it for my animals without giving them something maybe that?
Yeah, I mean, diffusion always in the air is generally not a good idea because unless they can get away from it. I mean, if they can go to another room and be away from it, then it's okay, but they have to be able to choose it or not choose it. So if you were, let's say you wanted to offer something to one of your pets, and you found that they liked something in particular, you could put that on a cloth and leave it out for them somewhere so they could go to it if they wanted to, whenever they needed it. Of course, and then you might need to top it off periodically if it's something that they use regularly. But yeah, it's important that they be able to choose whether or not to take it in. And lavender is okay. It just, it's like comfrey. A lot of plants get a bad rap because they may be poisonous in certain circumstances. But sometimes we need those.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
you Google something and everything.
Yeah, I know. As long as you don't.
Not already dying, right?
Yeah. As long as you don't force it on them and don't put it in their food. They just have to be able to choose it specifically. Yeah. But yeah, things like, there is a theory on that too, like, what was it? Maybe I have it here. Nope, this is not Cliff Notes. Things like, cocoa, yeah, chocolate is generally accepted as poisonous, but apparently in some instances, like the coca leaf, maybe I'm confusing that with cocaine. Anyway, some substances may be needed and they will take it if they're needed. But there's also the theory that some animals, depending on where they're from, it's like they may not have it in their genetic history. So they have no genetic memory of the plant. And so they may ingest it not knowing, like maybe devil's ivy or something. The chart is, charts. The charts in the handouts are the guideline that I use for offering oils. If I have an idea of what an animal is dealing with, the problem that they're dealing with, then I'll start there with the oils. But it could end up being something else. Who knows?
Do you ever put it on the animal, or we're just
No,
nearby them?
no, just offering it to them. Yeah, especially with, well, not true. With the oils, sometimes they will want it, usually dogs or horses, but not cats. Sometimes through the skin is the best route, and that's what they want. And if you offer it to them, like on your hand, they may push into your hand. If like with some aloe vera gel, just to help it absorb into the skin. And apparently that's something too, is like the acupuncture needles, you know, expelling them when the body doesn't need them anymore. If the animal doesn't need it, or it doesn't need much, it'll just kind of sit on the skin. But if it's absorbed really quickly, they really need that. So you might offer them some more. Yes,
I might have missed this because I came in late too.
that's okay.
But the green clay, I see it listed several places.
Yes.
Is that easily obtainable, and would you actually use that as a application?
It's a powder, yes.
Oh.
And yeah, I have. I have to admit, I was not letting the animal choose though. We had 2 cats, one in particular, he'd gotten his tail caught in the door. Cause sometimes you're going through a door, you're just not paying attention, you know? And it was so painful that he was licking a lot, and he licked himself down to the bone. So, collar went on when that was discovered. And I did alternate between colloidal silver liquid and the green clay. Put that on there, and it did heal up.
And you can get it online or?
You know what, I've gotten it through Caroline's shop. She's the person that founded Applied Zoopharmacognosy.
Oh,
So I purchased it through her basic kit. And I have not gotten any more yet, since I still have some, but I've not looked. I think you can probably get it. I think salons use it for facials,
oh.
so yeah.
So it's probably like a green volcanic clay probably then?
I don't think it's volcanic, but it is the earth. Yeah, you know that because she talks about, and there is red clay also, they have different properties. I think she talks about elephants, wild elephants, like rolling in it and eating it and things like that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's an earthly thing. Yeah.
So are you offering it to them to eat like as a powder, or are you mixing it into a
The
paste?
green clay, both. When it's ingested, it can help with parasites, internal parasites. So if they have parasites, they may choose to eat it. Other than that, they may like it on the skin, usually often for wounds and abscesses. Anything else?
So on your chart here for
Yeah.
tumors and growths, you have garlic down here.
Yeah.
And I always thought garlic was bad for cats.
Oh, no.
So how would you
Well, it's offered as an oil.
smell it?
I was told that garlic was good in moderation for like flea and tick if they eat it in something.
Yeah, I've heard that too. And I think it was Caroline who talked about, you know, the common belief that garlic is poisonous. And I think she mentioned that when that was studied, as often is the case, huge amounts were given to the animal. And, you know, the animal had a reaction. You know, and it was amounts that an animal would not normally ingest anyway. So that's the counter to that. But yeah, in this practice, I offer it just as the oil to smell.
Your kit there, did you make that yourself, or did you get that from?
I purchased that from her shop.
And
Yeah,
is
it's a
it-
basic kit.
Would what you're purchasing for her be in different dilutions than what have in my essential oil cabinet?
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. Some things are, what does she call it? I don't know, but yeah, some things are diluted, for cost measures. Yeah, and, so yeah, it could be, but I don't think there's anything wrong with offering it, you know, if you wanted to try something with your pets.
It's a cost issue, it's not a toxin issue perhaps.
I wouldn't
That
think
was
so.
my thought.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Depending on the source, you know, some things might be more pure, the way they're processed and distilled. So that could affect like the dosing that the animal might need. But yeah, I don't know about toxins, she hasn't said anything about that.
So do you work out of your home?
I go to.
You come to their home? Cause I have a dog that I need some help with.
Okay, all right. Enter the raffle, get a free one.
I'm going to.
That's that jar.
No, I came here to do AITA, and there was another gentleman, he was, his dog was like having just weird fits. I mean, kind of seizures, and just kind of, he looked demented, apparently. And, so I went to work with his dog, and he also has a cat who has been licking his leg bare. So I did a treatment for the cat also, and he said it hasn't completely resolved, but it's calmed down big time. So yeah, we go to the animals.
Okay.
So fun. I just think that's best in their own environment, you know, they're more comfortable to start with.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, Joyce,
Yeah.
would you have, a link that we can all write down for Carolyn's shop?
Yeah,
So that,
absolutely.
cause I take it that I could put together like my own kit
Yeah, you could.
with
Yeah.
some basic,
Yeah.
common things
Yeah.
that I might see if
Yeah.
I can't have.
Caroline is in the UK.
Okay.
So, there's a little extra expense with it coming internationally,
Sure.
and, apparently the tariffs have
Tariffs.
affected her business, yeah,
Yeah.
and customs, so. But yeah, I'll be happy to write that down.
Okay,
Miles,
yeah.
for her.
That would be
Yeah.
a great resource.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's incredible, and she's got all kinds of educational information on her website also.
Cause you said that you initially bought her kit, right?
I
To
did,
start
I
with
bought
her.
the basic kit and I added, she had like a dog add-on, so there were a few other things that I got with that. And there are plenty more, and I am out of some things that, well, obviously they were being used a lot. I was also using them at the cat sanctuary in St. Louis where I volunteer, because I was hoping to, you know, just give them an opportunity to feel better, because a lot of them are sick and old and, you know.
Where's the cat sanctuary?
Oh, it's on Wyoming Street,
Oh, south side.
in St. Louis, it's Clouder House
Yeah.
Cat Sanctuary.
Does she have information about livestock?
Yeah, she works with, I mean, I don't know about specifically, she's got a zillion case studies. She's worked in zoos, she's worked in, sanctuaries, reserves, sorry.
That's okay. There's things called
Yeah.
forest preserve.
You know, one of the case studies, and you're welcome to look through the book, she's got a bunch of them in there. One of them was, oh my God, to choose one. I think it was gorillas. They were in captivity, and they were acting out. They were occasionally attacking their caretakers, and they're like, we can't care for you properly if you're attacking us, you know. So she went in and she started the way she normally did, offering them certain oils, and they just weren't having any of it. They were just throwing fits. So she went into their enclosure, their indoor enclosure. She sprayed the walls with orange oil, water. Let me get the right term. I can't think of it. Anyway, it's a dilution in water. So it's not the orange oil directly, but it's in water. She sprayed the enclosure with orange oil and I think something else too. And then they opened the door for the gorillas to come in like they normally would. And they just stood there and they were like smelling. And just from there, they calmed down and she was able to actually eventually give her usual treatment to them. And then they ended up having no problems. I think she took their favorite oils and had their main caretaker put it on his gloves, his socks, his legs, so that when he was around them, they, you know, they associated that already with him being a friendly. And eventually, I think, he didn't even need any of that anymore. So, yeah, wild animals she's worked with, well, captive. It's captive. Shall we do a demo with Aita? What do you think, honey?
Let's see what
She's
you-
like, finally, I've been waiting.
I am the star today.
Yeah. Seems Joyce.
Go see Joyce.
So Joyce, Joyce is gonna see you.
So I'm going to, may I borrow somebody's chart, set of charts? Thank you. 'Cause this is where I start, just to get an idea.
Even though we do it without it.
I know. And I did it today, it was bad.
Yes, Joyce.